Hey guys, somewhere on the trail here, and today I wanted to talk to you about my favorite hiking shoe, the Altra Olympus. And I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel are familiar with these shoes. I've talked about them quite a bit. You can see that I've been wearing them now for about 6 years. I think I bought this blue pair around August, September of 2014, and tried them out on the PCT for about 100 miles and absolutely fell in love with them because it was the first hike I'd gone on where I did not get any blisters, and that of course made the hike so much more enjoyable. And so as you can see, after this I wore this pair out, got another pair, and so on and so on, and I just feel like they've been a really great shoe. And if you're having any trouble with blisters or you have a wide foot and you've had some issues, maybe this would be a good shoe for you to try out. And so let me go over a couple of the features of the shoe and see if you might like it. Well, like I said, I've been wearing the shoes for 6 years, so you know, I'm a little biased. I love them. So the first thing I want to point out, and I've already kind of talked about it, says it right here, foot shape. You can probably see that's a really nice wide toe box compared to most shoes. You've got a lot of room for your foot to lay in there naturally and splay out naturally, which just feels great when you're hiking. And I also double up with the Injinji toe socks, and that way my toes are separated and they're spread out and I never get blisters, and so it just makes the hiking so much more enjoyable for me, for anybody. But another thing that Altra has patented and coined is what they call the zero drop, and what that means is from heel to toe there is no difference in height. It's the same here as it is here, and so it's more of a natural way to strike the ground than having your foot slightly be at an incline like most shoes do, which I never knew that until I started reading up on them. And so that's pretty cool, and they say that it could take a little getting used to if you're not used to the zero drop, but I put them on and started hiking in them right away and I didn't have any trouble. In fact, like I said, I didn't even know what zero drop was. I just started wearing them, and I've loved them ever since. So we've gone over the toe box and the zero drop. So another little cool thing, they have the gator trap on here if you're the kind of guy or girl that hikes in the desert and likes to wear gaiters. Never used them, but you never know. Cushioning, the Altra Olympus is the most cushioning you can get in any Altra shoe. A lot of you may have heard of the Lone Peaks, and they're more of a moderate cushioning. Well, this is like a maximum. So Altra suggests that if you have foot pain, let me make sure I get this right here, I got it right here. If you have foot pain, to get a more cushioned shoe. If you have joint pain, to get more of a minimal style shoe. Now I also wear around daily, I wear the Ultra Superior, and you can see that's a pretty minimal shoe compared to that. And it works great, and if you know, are the type of person that likes to hike in a real minimal style shoe, then that may be more what you're looking for. Or a Lone Peak, because they're probably the most popular amongst hikers. And anyway, so that's the deal on the cushioning. If you are, let me look at it one more time. If you get a more cushioned shoe, if you have foot pain, less cushioned shoe. If you have strong feet but suffer from joint pain. So I don't really have any issues with either. I just happened to buy this shoe first and fell in love with it, so I'm just sticking with what works for me. And so let's talk about this Vibram here, this little gold seal. This is a rubber compound that was developed in the 40s or 50s, I'm not quite sure. I did read about it because I wasn't sure how to say Vibram, and there's a lot of online debate about that, by the way, but it's an Italian word, and so in the end the consensus is that it's Vibram, but a lot of people do say Vibram. Anyway, this Vibram is a really cool story because it was developed, some mountaineers passed away, and so the person developed this, and I guess another expedition ended up making it to the summit of K2 like in the early 50s, and that made this rubber compound super popular, and then it started being used in all kinds of things. It's really an interesting story, but they use it in everything, and it just has like a mega grip. So Vibram, it's on in all the Altra shoes, and so that's cool. If you're interested, you should look that up and read about it. There's a lot of history around it. It was actually developed in a partnership with Pirelli, the tire company, and they use vulcanized rubber. And anyway, this is really cool. So you may want to read up on that. You may not care. Another cool thing about these is I have hiked a lot in snow and rain, and I can attest that these shoes are very, very fast drying. I've walked through snow for an hour or so, and it just kind of sloughs off the top, and it keeps your toes will be dry for quite a long time, a surprising amount of time, to be honest with you. I could not believe it some of the times I walked, and 45 minutes to an hour later, I could feel my socks and toes are dry, and it's raining outside. It's just a really great fast drying shoe. And one thing that's also really cool about Altra is they're one of the first shoes that has an exclusively gender specific line for women, and they have really tailor-made it for a woman's foot. It's engineered around it. It's a little longer, it's a little thinner, and the toe box is engineered for a woman. And so if you're a woman and having any issues, look into Altra. My girlfriend wears them and she loves them. In fact, she just bought another pair not too long ago, and so check that out. And with that, let's go into my last things here. Just a couple little notes about the consistency. Over the course of having all these shoes, they have fit almost identically. The only one was this 2.0 model. Seemed like it was just a slight bit smaller than these previous models. Now, I don't know, my foot may have flattened out some over all the hiking, but believe it or not, when I first started hiking, I was wearing an 11.5, and I was getting a lot of blisters, so I jumped up to a 12. These are all 12s. I bought this in a 12, and then I started having issues with this one on the Ozark Trail. It felt smaller and tighter. And I came home and lined them up, and it does look just the slightest bit smaller than the previous model. But I decided to bump up to a 12.5 in the next model, and I did the Ouachita Trail with these, and everything was fine. In fact, it was the greatest. My feet recovered from that faster than any other hike, so worked out really well. These are a 12.5. I have another pair of these that are 12.5. A lot of Altra shoes around here. The durability has been great. I've worn them all and worn them, just worn them out. They've all gone hundreds of miles. I've only through hiked in these three, Ozark Highlands Trail, Ozark Trail, and Ouachita Trail, and tons of videos. These green ones just seem to have lasted forever. I wore them forever. The soles kind of at one point started moving. I just got some shoe glue and glued them in, and they lasted another, my God, I don't know, a couple hundred miles. It's fantastic. Now, I have been having some problems lately with the availability, because these shoes have become so popular that as soon as it comes out, if you wear a 12, 12.5, anywhere in about that 10 to 13 size, they are going to be gone like that. I got an email a couple weeks ago from Altra that the new 4.0s were out. Quickly went, looked, no 12.5s, all gone already. So I went ahead and back ordered another pair of 4.0s. I haven't even worn the 3.5s yet, but I have a pair of 4.0s on the way, and I just know they're going to be great. And so when I go to Arizona this year, I'm not sure which one I'm going to try. This one, the 3.5 or the 4.0, and we'll really get a good measure of how durable they are, in one long stretch. Because a lot of these I've worn, like 25 miles, 50 miles, and so they've gone a lot of miles, but not all at once. And so we'll find out how many miles can one pair of these go before I have to replace them. And so I'm interested to see that, and I'll definitely be doing a report on that for you guys. And so the last thing is the price. The price is relatively good. In the beginning, I was always able to find them when the new model would come out. They would try to clearance out the old ones, and I was actually getting them for a pretty good price, like 40% off. And so I paid under $100 for all these, and then I want to say this might have been the last pair I got like that, and since then it's been full price because you just cannot find them. And I'm sad to say that as of the latest, these were 150, but the 4.0s that I ordered, they did bump it up to 170, so it's gone up $20. Not that bad. It's kind of to be expected. And for me, I would say it's totally worth it. For me to hike worry-free, blister-free, and just know that my shoe thing is handled, it's worth the extra $20. And like I said, I already went ahead and back ordered a pair. So if I can get those before Arizona, I may wear those at the start, because a friend of mine who's going has this exact same pair, and it might be cool to do a side-by-side comparison of the 3.5s and the 4.0. So we'll check that out and see how that works out, and I'll definitely let you guys know. And anyway, that's kind of a quick overview of the Altra Olympus. For me, my personal favorite hiking shoe, and I hope maybe I've convinced you guys to give it a shot. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I'll check back in with you guys soon. Until then, I'll see you somewhere on the trail. Take care, man.